I don't know. We speak to Rabbi Samuel because they have a lot of wonderful programs for you. Okay, guys in the back, can you get along, or I have to send somebody else? Thank you. Thank guys. Anyways, it's not that it's the last class, even though it is the last class, but it's actually another year accomplished. Thank God. We were zeichet to learn another year in a place which is a makom kadosh, a holy place. The language that you use is makom shemegadlin, a place that you encourage, you raise Torah, learning of the Torah and actually davening also. I want to ask you, please, to guys, pay attention. We could learn something very well. You're going to start with something that you're going to do many years from now, maybe 7, 8 years. You all go to frum weddings, right? Religious weddings. Yes. So usually, the boy is in one room, the girl is in another room, chatan in one room, the kala in the other room, and then they take the chatan to go see the kala. So the first thing that he does do, he looks at the face of the kala and he covers it. But we always say a joke. He must be so ugly that she can't look at him. So they cover it. Okay. If you go especially to Chabad weddings, the covering is so thick you can't even see. Somebody has to hold her hand and carry her. I'm not kidding. You go to Chabad weddings, maybe all the Chassidish weddings, you see that. But anyways, really, what's the reason? So the simple reason is because Yaakov Avinu got fooled. But Yaakov didn't look who's coming under the chuppah, thought it's Rachel, came out to be Leah. So the custom is you make sure that they don't change your wife with somebody else. But putting all the simple reasons aside, why do you do that? Why do you cover the face? So one of the reasons that, and I'm going to connect it to the parasha, that's what I'm talking about it. One of the reasons are, you see, many times at the beginning of marriage, when we get married, they always say, find somebody compatible to you. You look at what kind of a benefit do I get from this marriage? We're selfish people. I don't mean selfish as a bad thing. We see our needs first. So if I'm getting married for the sake of God, so married to anybody, what's the difference? Obviously, we don't do that. At the beginning, we're looking for a benefit. What do we gain from this? So either she's very beautiful, or she has a lot of accomplishments. She's a balas chesed. She does kindnesses, a lot of stuff. But then eventually, when you get married, after many years, it becomes much deeper. You love her for not because of the looks and not because of the accomplishments, but actually because she's your other half. So that's the reason why they cover the face. What you're saying actually is, I'm not marrying you only for your external accomplishments, not because of your looks, not because you're a CEO, not because, you're a therapist, not because you're a principal of a school, but because something which is within you, which is the beauty that every Jewish woman has. That's exactly what it is. One of the reasons why you cover it. There's also other halachic reasons. They say covering is like a chuppah, according to some people. That's why you cover the face. Why did I speak about it? You want to talk? Please. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is this week's parsha. We start Parshas Bamidbar, but really the entire book is called Sefer Bamidbar. What's the other name that the Medrash gives to the book of Bamidbar? What? No, Bereshit is the first one. Bamidbar. What? No, Mishnah Torah is a lot. You see, for example, Bereshit is called Genesis because the beginning. Exodus is Shemot. Vayikra is called, who said numbers? Somebody said numbers, exactly. It's called Chumash Pekudim, the book of numbers. Why do we call this entire book of numbers? So, yes, because the Jews were counted a few times. No, not Sfirat Omer, because the Jews were counted. Are you joking? So then get more serious, because you're serious is a joke. Sfirat Omer is in Parashat Emor, in Vayikra. I'm not going to tell you already that you mixed up Parashat Emor to Bamidbar. It's okay. I make many mistakes and many mix-ups. Oh, you're not that bad at all. You're pretty good. So anyways, what happens is, because the Jews were counted, first of all, they were once counted in Chumash Bamidbar, in Parshas Bamidbar. Then the Levim were counted, and then you have them counting in Parshas Pinchas. I want to ask a question, people. How could you call the entire book of Numbers? Numbers only shows your external. If let's say, I don't know, there's a machlokes if Moshe Rabbeinu was counted or not. But let's say if they did count Moshe Rabbeinu, he's not counted more than one. And you take the simplest Jews, not counted less than one. So you're just looking at the external. And you're actually naming the external, it doesn't make sense. So one of us, I'm gonna ask you both to leave. It happens one more time. Both of you. When you come here, you have to know that you're on the same team. If you can't even concentrate for 10 minutes, I don't usually talk long. It's a problem. Thank you. Anyways, so what happens is we're counting numbers because we're saying, I'm not looking at your accomplishments. Yes, Moshe Rabbeinu accomplished a lot. Greatest Navi, greatest rabbi, greatest teacher. And then you have other Jews that didn't accomplish much. They accomplished very little. But the counting of one shows there is something within all of us that we're equal. We're all the same. And that's a godly soul within every single Jew. Just like, you're children of your parents. Yeah, there's one kid that's a bigger Talmid Chacham, one guy is a bigger doctor. But as far as children, are you less of a child because you accomplish less? No. As far as that, you're children equally. So God, by counting the Jews, is showing us there's something within every Jew that we are all equal, and that's a godly soul within us. I'm going to finish up with one little story. This is with the previous Lubavitch Rabbi, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak. Maybe two stories. Schneerson. He was running away from the communists in Russia. Now, the communists in Russia had a Jewish communism too. They called them the Yevsektia. And these guys were terrible because they knew all the secrets of the Jews. They knew where the synagogues are. They knew where the Jewish homes are. They knew where there's, underground schools. So the previous Rebbe was running in a train, running away from them. There was one of those guys of KGB, a Jew, that he asked the shamash of the previous Rebbe, I want to see the Rebbe. But I promise I'm not going to hurt him. I just want to ask him something. So they allow him to come into previous Rebbe's cabin. So he says, Rabbi, what's your title? He says, I'm a Jew. He says, no, come on. I'm a president of this. I don't know, vice president of that group. The guy was one of the heads of the KGB on the Jewish section. And he gave a bunch of titles that he had. He says, what is your title? So the previous Rebbe told him that these titles don't count. They could be taken away from you. But the Jew that I'm saying, I'm a Jew, that's something nobody can take away from you. It was actually words of prophecy. Because after he did whatever he did for the KGB, they demoted him. He lost everything that he had. But he stayed a Jew. Another story that happened with the Lubavitch Rebbe, I was in New York for that, by the way. I was there when this story happened. There was this old woman that he came on a Sunday to get dollars. The Rebbe used to give dollars to people on Sundays, and the reason was because the Gemara says when you give charity, it brings Mashiach faster. The Gemara says that. And the condition was when you receive $1, you have to give dollar plus $1.05, $1.10, $2. You have to give to tzedakah to bring Mashiach closer. That was one of the reasons that the Rebbe himself said why he gives us the dollars to give for tzedakah. So there was this old woman that stood in line for a couple hours till her turn came. At that time, the Rebbe was 90 years old. Or maybe 89, because he passed away at 92. It was before the stroke. So he says, Rabbi, I don't understand it. I'm standing in line for a couple hours. My feet hurt. You stand for 5-6 hours. How could you stand? I don't know the exact words that he said, but he said, when you count diamonds, you don't get tired. If you count diamonds, he looked at every Jew, the priceless diamond within them. So he didn't get tired. So this is the lesson that we learn when Moshe Rabbeinu counts. Every Jew and everybody is one, is teaching us something. There's something priceless, which is equal in every single one of you guys. And that's your godly soul. So let's keep them fresh. Let's irrigate them or hydrate them. No attacking, please. Just no attacking. No attacking. I'm not attacking. Don't worry about it. Hey, everyone calm. You're spilling. You ran. You chair. Ow. Wait. I can have a picture. You were talking too much. What? You were talking too much. Sorry. What's up? All right, guys. There's enough pizza. There's like 9 pies. 9 pies in it. Baba, hit you, man. Huh? Throw the rank. Yeah, grab one. Yeah.
No more fries? Why is there like five different like sauce?
Thank you guys. It's awesome.
What happened?
It's covered in ranch.
Oh, wait, is the ranch, is the ketchup on here?
Yeah, there's ketchup. Like the ranch on the ketchup.
Right. Hey, hey.
What's that? You want to fry?
No, totally.
Let's see what fries. Let's see what
Fine.
fries.
Thank you.
So